At least 38 of Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray's own MLAs are currently standing against him in a rebel camp headed by Shiv Sena leader Eknath Shinde. The rebel MLAs demand the dissolution of the MVA alliance and they rather want an alliance with the Bharatiya Janata Party, the alliance that they call natural. Now let's take you through the top developments from this political turmoil. Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has hit out saying that our own people stabbed us in the back and people siding with the BJP must be questioned. He says that the BJP is breaking their alliance. He again asked for the MLAs to come speak to him, and the Maharashtra Chief Minister reassured that the Congress and the NCP are with them in the MVA alliance and the Shiv Sena still stands strong. In the other developments, the rebel leader Shinde claims that 40 Shiv Sena MLAs are with him, while a fellow rebel says that 38 are currently with them. NCP leaders met today in a meeting that concluded after 2 hours. And after losing most MLAs, Thackerays met and discussed to retain the party. Uddhav also made an emotional appeal. He said that Shinde is attacking my son, but his son is an MP. And after losing most MLAs, Thackerays met to retain the party. And this is not just a political battle now, it's also a legal battle, as the disqualification notices are likely for 16 rebels, including Eknath Shinde. And Shinde is also likely to move the EC for the control of the party and the symbol. Let's listen in to Uddhav Thackeray's address that he recently made.
भले यांनी जर का सगळ्या कलाकार्य करून काही जरी केलं तरी आज सुद्धा त्यांच्यामध्ये सगळे गेलेले आमदार खुश नाहीत. ते आज सुद्धा मला कॉन्टॅक्ट करतायत. फक्त त्यांना जणू काही तिकडे तुरुंगात टाकल्यासारख्या बंदोबस्तात ठेवलेले. ते हसणारे खिदळलेले फोटो काही येऊ देत, पण बाहेरचे फोटो आणि ते एअरपोर्टवरचं सुद्धा ते NDTV तुम्हाला दाखवलेले आहे. जरा बरं वाटलं सगळ्यांना भेटून, कारण साधारणतः असं चित्र दाखवलं जात आहे की आता शिवसेनेत कोण राहिलंच नाहीये. त्यांनी जाहीर केलेलं आहे पाठीत पुन्हा एकदा खंजीर कोणी बसला तर आपल्याच लोकांनी.
And Uddhav Thackeray mentioned an NDTV report saying that report showed how MLAs left Mumbai to go to BJP-ruled states. Here's a look at that report.
Right now we are at Surat Airport. You can see this is Gujarat. This is MLA of Sena. The way he is running, आप भाग क्यों रहे हैं? ऐसा क्या किया जो आप भाग रहे हैं? You can see these MLAs running and going inside the airport. We are at Surat Airport. Eknath Shinde went inside. Now you can see other MLAs are also going. The way they are being taken by Gujarat police. You can see the use of police power in Gujarat. सर क्या आप कह सकते हैं कि शिवसेना टूट गई है? क्या ऐसा क्या कर रहे हैं? ऐसा क्या ये बताइए. You can see that the MLAs are quiet. They are not speaking. They have been told that they are not being allowed. सर कितने विधायक हैं?
नो कमेंट्स.
कितने विधायक हैं? नंबर्स क्या हैं?
मेजॉरिटी है. नो कमेंट्स.
तुम्ही शिवसेनेतच राहणार आहात का? शिवसेनेतच राहणार आहात का?
These MLAs are literally being rescued inside the airport by Gujarat police. You can see Eknath Shinde standing in the center, smiling, and they are saying that they are the majority. शिंदे साहब नंबर्स कितने हैं? नंबर्स कितने हैं? नंबर्स कितने हैं? सर नंबर्स कितने हैं? एक शिंदे साहब नंबर्स कितने हैं? नंबर्स शिंदे साहब नंबर्स कितने हैं? कितने?
आगे बताइए. अब हमारी बात मानिए ना प्लीज.
सर कुछ कह रहे हैं.
वो कह रहे हैं
45 विधायकों के समर्थन करने की बात कर रहे हैं. पहली बार एकनाथ शिंदे आके इशारे कर रहे हैं, कैमरे पर नहीं बोल रहे हैं. द सीन्स ऑफ these MLAs being rescued by Gujarat police inside the Surat, and they'll gather and they'll go to Guwahati through a SpiceJet flight. in Surat with Ashwani Mehra, Saurabh Shukla for NDTV.
And let's go across to my colleague Saurabh, who joins us for more on this. Saurabh, we saw this address by Uddhav Thackeray. He attacked the Bharatiya Janata Party. He said that they're breaking our alliance. What are your other key takeaways from this address by Uddhav Thackeray?
Well, the key element or the key revelation that's come out from this particular address to corporators is that one, Uddhav Thackeray sees the support he has within the party rank and file. The Thackeray family cannot be separated from the Shiv Sena, something that many believed but had begun to doubt given the kind of support that Eknath Shinde was getting and is still getting from MLAs who've been elected on a party ticket. Right. But MLAs, elected MLAs and the party rank and file are different. The party rank and file still seem to be with Uddhav Thackeray, except perhaps in Thane, which is really Eknath Shinde's bastion, and he's sort of the Sena person there. But there's another important revelation that Uddhav Thackeray made, and this was indicative also on the Shiv Sena's Foundation Day speech when he was, talking about there are no gaddars left in our party, that's the word he said. But then he turned and many indicated that was a subtle message to Eknath Shinde, because today in that address he said, a few days back when I suspected this, I called Eknath Shinde and told him to perform his duty of taking the Shiv Sena forward. Doing this isn't right. He told me NCP and Congress are trying to finish us and MLS want us to go with BJP. I told him to bring me those MLAs to me who wanted. The BJP defamed our party, my family, and you are the one talking about going with them. Such a question doesn't even arise. If MLAs want to go there, they can. All of them can. I won't. If someone wants to go, be it an MLA or someone else, come and tell us and then go. So obviously Uddhav Thackeray is now taking the battle to the dissenters. And the key part is, why haven't these dissenters still moved for a floor test, or still haven't made efforts to come back to Mumbai? There are two reasons. One, they're not sure of the numbers themselves. Right now, they're in a hotel, sequestered, under protection from the Assam police, controlled by the Assam government, run by the BJP. If they come back to Mumbai, they'll have to face their constituents, the rank and file, the ordinary Shiv Sainik, the Shakha Pramukh, the Vibhag Pramukh, who are still very much with Uddhav Thackeray and are very, very angry with the dissenters. But there is always that underlying message also that's being sent, that come back to Mumbai and you may be forgiven, and you will be forgiven. So that's one thing that Uddhav Thackeray is also making the point. And that's obviously to reach out to dissenters who want to come back, and they're claiming that many want to come back.
Right, Saurabh, thanks for joining us with those details. And the Thackerays are definitely hitting back, and Uddhav Thackeray, the Maharashtra Chief Minister, who's reduced to a minority in his own party by a stunning revolt, also addressed district heads of the Shiv Sena earlier and attacked the rebel MLAs. He asked how far could they go without using the names of the Shiv Sena and Thackeray. But the posturing by Uddhav Thackeray did not appear to have any impact on the rebel group that is led by Minister Eknath Shinde, whose ranks appeared to swell even further.
म्हटलं चला आता कोविड ओसरलाय, राज्यात फिरायला सुरुवात करू, तर मानेचं लफडं उद्भवलं. त्या मानेच्या लफड्यातून जरा बाहेर पडतोय तर हे दुसरं लचांड उपटलं, आणि त्याच्यात आता कोविड. ठीक आहे, त्याच्यात जास्त काय मला गुंतायचं नाहीये, पण कोणी कोणत्या वेळेला कसं आपल्याशी वागलंय या गोष्टी मात्र आपल्याला लक्षात ठेवणं गरजेचं आहे.
Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray and his cabinet minister son Aditya Thackeray came out fighting today to retain their grip on the party after losing most of their MLAs to the rebel Eknath Shinde. Today, they called and spoke to 48 district chiefs of the Shiv Sena, a show of strength by the rank and file. On the ground in several parts of the state, protests by angry Shiv Sainiks. In Ahmednagar and in Mumbai, in the constituencies of the rebel MLAs. According to sources, one of the major issues that Eknath Shinde had before engineering this rebellion was the promotion of Aditya Thackeray as a major power center within the Shiv Sena. At today's meeting, Uddhav Thackeray reportedly said, and I quote, "Eknath Shinde makes his own son an MP, but has a problem when my son is elected and is working for the people." Aditya Thackeray questioned the wisdom of the rebels, saying Why would they want to go from being the party in power to being the party in opposition? The Chief Minister, addressing party leaders, said those who had declared they would rather die than leave the Shiv Sena have today run away. How far can you go without using the names of the Shiv Sena and Thackeray? Mr. Thackeray said, targeting the rebel MLAs who have deserted him. My body was aching from head and neck to my feet. Some people thought I would not recover. My eyes weren't opening, but I didn't care about myself, the Sena chief said in the meeting, referring to how he governed the state during the COVID waves despite being ill. On the ground across Maharashtra, those loyal to Uddhav tried to firefight too, with a few remaining MLAs pointing out the fate of the past Shiv Sena rebels.
माननीय एकनाथ भाई शिंदे सुद्धा तुम्हाला सांगतो की आपल्या शिवसेनेचे गटनेते आहेत त्यांना सुद्धा मला विनंती करायची आहे की एका ठिकाणी आपण सगळ्या जणांनी बसा आणि निर्णय घ्या आम्ही 100% सगळे तुमच्या सोबत आहोत मी तुम्हाला खास करून सांगेल साहेब तुम्ही काळजी करू नका तुमचे आमदार कुठेही जाऊ द्या पण माझा सर्वसामान्य शिवसैनिक हा जाग्यावरती आहे हा तुमच्या पाठीमागे ठामपणे उभा आहे.
But the question is whether all this will make any difference to the actual on-ground situation. Eknath Shinde claims that Sena MLAs supporting him will cross 50 soon. In Mumbai with Saurabh Gupta and camera person Rajendra Dayalkar, Sohit Mishra, NDTV.
In a decision that shakes the foundations of reproductive rights in the United States and it takes back the US 50 years, the US Supreme Court has struck down abortion rights by overturning the landmark Roe versus Wade ruling. US citizens had the right to abortion for nearly 5 decades because of this very ruling that's now overturned. The country's top court said that the Constitution does not confer a right to abortion. Now, more than 24 US states are likely to ban abortion now after this, and the decision that was unthinkable just a few years ago, it is the culmination of decades of efforts by abortion opponents made possible by an emboldened right side of the court that has 3 appointees of former President Donald Trump. Now, the ruling came weeks after the leak of a draft opinion by a judge indicating that the court was prepared to take this momentous step caused widespread protests. But now it's official in a decision that will transform American life and American politics for the time to come. And the New York governor said that this repulsive decision turns back the tides of time of progress in the United States as women lose the right to make a very personal decision about their own bodies. Listen in.
It is a day, a dark day, for women across this nation who have long fought for the right to have control over their own bodies. This is repulsive at every level. To think that the Supreme Court says there is absolutely no constitutional right to an abortion, something that we've had in our state since 1970, for our nation since 1973, Roe v. Wade. So this is turning back the tides of time of progress. We lose our ability to protect our citizens from gun violence, and as women, we lose the right to make a decision, a very personal decision about our own bodies.
And US President Biden says that he is sad that the constitutional rights of Americans are now taken away.
Today is it's not hyperbole to suggest a very solemn moment. Today, the Supreme Court of the United States expressly took away a constitutional right from the American people that it had already recognized.
And former US President Obama tweeted that today the Supreme Court not only reversed nearly 50 years of precedent, it relegated the most intensely personal decision someone can make to the whims of politicians and ideologues, attacking the essential freedoms of millions of Americans. And now shifting track, a road that was renovated ahead of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's June 20th visit to Bengaluru has now caved in, leading to embarrassment for the state's BJP government and a response from Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai, besides attracting attention of the Karnataka High Court. NDTV's Srija reports.
This stretch of road in Bangalore University was repaired just ahead of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit on June 20th, when he took this road to inaugurate the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar School of Economics University. The dressing up of this patch cost 6.5 crore rupees, but didn't last even 2 days after the PM left for Delhi. The road has caved in, exposing the shoddy work of the civic body, the BBMP. Rajkumar Dugar, a citizen activist, says the asphalting of roads done at the 11th hour ahead of a VIP visit is corruption.
This is a case of corruption and lopsided priorities. These last-minute tarring of the roads is only a facade and generally done overnight, spending a lot of money, and the work is of very poor quality and durability.
BBMP Commissioner Tushar Girinath refused on comment on questions about taxpayers' money going down the drain. Chief Minister Basuraj Bommai, who is in Delhi to discuss cabinet expansion a year ahead of elections, ordered a probe. Show cause notices have been issued to engineers.
BBMP has no particular proper contractors who can actually look at the quality.
A total of 23 crores of taxpayers' money was spent. But clearly we see now that's gone down the drain. We understand from the civic body that they have sought an inquiry report into this particular incident from the engineers, which will then be sent to Prime Minister's office. In Bengaluru, Shrija for NDTV.
And with this, it's time for a short break, but stay tuned to NDTV 24/7 for all your latest news.